Over the last couple of years, the availability of broadband has been increasing year on year. As you can see from the statistics, this actually is a huge opportunity for many of the pay TV operators, but it brings its challenges along as well. I don't believe there's any one way which is the right way. There are different ways depending on where the operator is coming from. If you have a traditional pay TV operator that needs to take into account this availability of multiple devices, broadband access, or if you're a new entrant that is planning to go straight over the top, these are the challenges that the operators will have to deal with, and companies like Idetto are having solutions for them to go along this path where in the end everything will be any content, anywhere, on any device.
If we're able to get content security so good that it can be delivered to any device, I mean, does that mean there is no need for a set-top box and a smart card?
Whether there's no need for a set-top box perhaps is a longer question that will fall outside the security area. It does bring you to some interesting questions about the development of standards and which are relevant to security. But I think one can see the use of smart cards is something that is traditionally used for one-way systems, and if you had a two-way system that was developed from scratch, as you would see a DRM solution applied to an iPad, you'd never expect to see a smart card. So I think what we can see is the joining up of the technologies, and we'll see some one-way systems without smart cards, and we'll still see a lot of one-way systems with smart cards, but two-way systems, it seems very unlikely that you'll see smart cards in that area.
I think that the chances are that there'll be set-top boxes in our life for some while to come, especially in what we consider to be the predominant model of the next few years, which is a kind of hybrid delivery system. So these set-top boxes may not be pure broadcast; they may be connected, but they're still going to be using the RF channel as a way to efficiently deliver things like linear content to a wide audience, to a broad audience. But they'll combine rather seamlessly the IP delivered content with that RF delivered content, and so to present a kind of composite service, a hybrid service.
So this is them as a home gateway type of...
Well, I tend not to think of home gateways in that way, but I'm thinking very specifically of a unit that has a coax cable input or something equivalent to that really melds together the traditional broadcast world and the IP delivered world.
And is a managed device.
Which is a managed device, and I think that the power of it from a pay TV operator point of view is the ability to use the right channel, the right delivery mechanism, multicast versus unicast, to be able to efficiently use the delivery resources they have to get the content to the right people at the right time. So I think that kind of set-top box model is still potentially a very powerful tool. It doesn't necessarily have to be a sophisticated gateway, multi-tuner or anything like that, but some way that will be operator managed and have an RF to screen converter of some kind. I think it's probably a likely feature of many systems that we'll see in the future. It's certainly the way that projects are being bid right now. Are there smart cards in our future? Well, I think as a very matrix standpoint, we see very much the rise of technology that is an alternative to traditional smart card type models. The different threat models that have emerged over the last few years in terms of control word sharing, content redistribution, and so on, that tend to sidestep some of the security issues that have been traditional in set-top boxes and smart cards. Plus the fact that these boxes that I've described are probably connected as well, and connectivity gives you a whole new range of tools to be able to manage the security and to manage the authentication process on these boxes. So cardless technology and an integrated security model for both broadcast and an IP delivered content seems to us to be a powerful paradigm going forward.
Like all traditional or historic CA providers, you come from a smart card background, and yet, like all CA providers now, you can go beyond the box and multi-screen services. Where do you see the smart card fitting into the future?
Well, the smart card has a life on its own and will still have a life on its own for the next coming 5-10 years. Who knows? Irdeto has been driving a software CA solution into the market for a number of years now. We do that on the back of our cloakware technology that Irdeto acquired in 2007. So the question is, will there be a set-top box in the future years? Yeah, there will still be a set-top box for many years to come. It's a central piece in many households where people are still watching it, and the user experience that it drives and the power that it has is quite strong. Now, that being said, the technology allows us actually to have software CA like we do with Cloak CA today installed on not only two-way connected networks but also one-way connected networks. That will drive a change, and we've seen it at Irdeto already over the last 2 years, where many customers signed up to our one-way conditional access software solution, which is called Cloak CA. Now, mind you that in a lot of the operators, you need to look at their business model, because today there's still some of them driving major retail chains into the market on the basis of a physical device being delivered. So again, it comes back to the horses for courses and what's the best solution for them. So you need to look at the specific implementation for that customer. But yeah, I think more and more the world will become software CA. And it will be not only set-top box based, and it will be over the top, it will be from the set-top box. It really depends on the hardware installed in the client's network. And then I totally agree with Steve, then they're looking at the different least cost routing methods for broadcast or peer-to-peer for specific channels to specific customers.
And you'd agree that, you know, the ideal thing for a consumer is not really to understand or even appreciate the difference between those kind of different presentations, right?
Absolutely.
It's just TV at the end of the day, right? So.
Absolutely, and the whole technology of the network in between need to be obfuscated from the end user experience, but that drives then with it also the importance of having a unified user experience across your multiple devices. On the devices, I do not necessarily think that everything will be on a managed and subsidized device going forward for the operator. The technology allows us and should allow you to protect the content paths all the way from distribution over the network through also the media path protection to the screen. Now that drives the need for having updatability on and protection on the player, on the device itself, having a certain root of trust, as we call it, that allows you to actually know which device it's being played back on, and if the content studios have approved or will allow the implementation for having premium content displayed on a unmanaged device.